James Island Charter High School Board of Directors meeting. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. So if everyone please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we get started, can I get a motion from the board for approval of tonight's agenda?
I would move.
Second. Price with the motion to approve. Mr. Schumacher with the second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. Those opposed with an A. The ayes have it. Approval of minutes from the March 16th meeting. May I have a motion from the board for approval of those? Dr. Musi with the motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Manigault with the second. All those in favor of approval of minutes from the March 16th meeting, please signify with an aye. Aye. Those opposed with an A. The ayes have it. Principal Thorne, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No one has signed up.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, financial report. Hannah, are you with us tonight?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me this evening.
All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen right now. Is everyone able to see the March financials?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, guys, I believe I'm going to be presenting both the March financials to you tonight, as well as the first draft of the budget for next fiscal year, FY27. I'll begin with the March finance. Yes, sir.
Can you close the left side of the document?
This portion.
Or do you need that? If you just press in the little three lines to the very top. Nope, go left.
Is that better? Able to see better now?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. All right. I will be beginning with the March financials for James Island, starting with days cash on hand on the critical financial metrics. James Island currently has just over 4 months of days cash on hand, which comes to a total of 128 days. That's just over double the benchmark, and of course includes both the operating and Ameriprise days cash on hand. The 135th day count just came out last week. That reads 1,579 students. So I will update that enrollment for the next set of financials. Total operating net income for the school is at $1,250,000, not including capital projects. That is up from last month. Operating net income last month was $911,000. Capital project expenses were just under $2.2 million in the month of March, the largest invoice being the monthly Leitner construction invoice at $213,000. This puts total net income with construction at a loss of $998,000, with an $8.2 million fund equity to absorb that. The school's daily cash burn for the month of March was $73,330. Looking now at the balance sheet for March, James Island has $5 million in operating cash and $4.3 million in the Ameriprise account, for a total of $9,387,000 in cash. As always, you can find an itemized list of accounts payable, as well as a list of all bills paid during the month in the acknowledgement packet. Again, fund equity sits at $8,211,000 for James Island. Moving on to the statement of revenue and expenses, looking first at revenue. The school has realized about 74% of total budgeted revenue at $21.3 million, which is within 2% of where we'd expect you to be, about 3/4 of the way through the school year. As expected, revenue did hit for the National Board salary supplement in December at $63,000, as well as $17,000 in JROTC funds also hit in December. And I did just see this morning, or it might have been Friday, that the next payment of those JROTC funds are going to be deposited in the next day or so. Looking at expenses now. Overall, operating expenses are sitting at about 25% remaining, with, again, us being 3/4 of the way through the year. That's exactly where we'd expect you to be. Overall, as mentioned before, the school ends March rather, with a net operating income of $1,250,000, with $2.2 million in facilities acquisition and construction, yielding a total net income of $998,000 in the red. That wraps up the March financials. Are there any questions on anything in these financials?
Before we go to questions, Dr. Musi is our treasurer. Any comments that you wish to add?
Nothing to add.
From the board, any questions for Ms. Crowder? Nothing heard. Thank you for your time this evening, ma'am.
Absolutely. And I did just want to note, in the Finance Committee meeting, we did decide to change just a few budget lines for the FY26 budget. So a few areas where you guys have far exceeded some revenue lines and contributions and donations, as well as fundraising. We'll be increasing those lines to be more in line with what you've actually brought in so far, as well as a few supply lines and expenses. And so the new net income on the next set of financials that you will see, the operating net income will be $2,090,000. Would you guys like me to go ahead and present the FY27 budget now, or is that later in the agenda for the evening?
It is later, Hannah, because we have the tech budget and the athletic stipend schedule to approve. And those, if they're approved, those contribute to the FY27 budget.
Okay, I'll hang tight.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the leadership report. Ms. Cowart and Dr. Tucker.
Hello. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll try and call up your document for you. We got a hard time converting it into a PDF.
Sure, go ahead.
It's loading.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We had a lot of activity going on this, especially with our internal assessments, IAs through IB. There's been a lot of testing, a lot of field trips, a lot of outside, a lot of inside. So we've been pretty busy around campus. Our science renowned for field trips. They've been at the aquarium. They've been dealing with a lot of cross-curricular activities. History's been trying to push voter registration as well, and just getting our kids aware of their rights in voting, and registered 44 new voters. If you didn't get a chance, Once Upon a Mattress was amazing. The musical we did here at the school, the kids really enjoyed it. We had some run-throughs with the students, and everyone had a really good time. We have some really big talent here at JI. Our school counseling has been busy too. We're way ahead of the schedule with IGPs, a lot of college fairs, trying to make sure that all of our students are college and career ready. For the first time in a long time, all of the internal assessments for the International Baccalaureate were submitted, completed, on time, uploaded, ready to be scored externally. And that's a big feat, actually, when you're trying to get a lot of calming of nerves for the students. A lot of activities in world languages as well. A lot of French activities in the beginning, some crepe making, and Spanish and French got together through for our sharing of the planet unit, and did a kayaking expedition, which was really exciting too, where they had to write eco reports in the language. Special Olympics was incredible. I know a lot of our Students went out and supported. That was a great day for them. Library has been busy with their tournament of books and their March Madness scheme. That was fun for the students as well. For the Odyssey, our newspaper, Miss Moravito had 5 winners in a state competition last year, so they're showcased on there as well. And outside of that, just leadership in general, we're working on next year, trying to take all this energy, positive or negative, that we have and kind of channel it to the right place for next year, coming up with some new policies. We've broken up into subcommittees for charter renewal, academic recovery programs, responsible use of technology, professional learning, communities and school culture, and morale. So we're trying to maybe, quantify that a little bit, find out what's going on and what we can do to support everyone.
And we're also working a lot with some data that we're getting through smart testing and the progress learning for the courses that have EOC. So we're wrapping up the final benchmark testing. So hopefully we can take that data and then use it at the end of the year before everybody forgets and start for next year, saying what worked, what didn't work, and what we can do to improve our EOC scores or preparation.
Great. Any questions from Ms. Powder or Dr. Tucker? Nothing heard. Thank you very much for your time. All right, moving on, FY27 technology budget for approval. And over to you, Principal Thorne, on that.
Sure. It's smaller so you can see more of it. So this is a multi-year budget. Obviously you want to forecast for things in the future, like buying teacher computers, which is the one that's hitting the budget for next year. That's flat panels or having to upgrade the Wi-Fi system. Maybe the phone system is another big project. So we always try, and Chris does, he's the lead of this, of that committee. So they go through and just kind of look at all the things that we spend money on with regards to technology. And it's all in here and has a dollar amount attached to it. The big change for next year really is getting a new Mac lab put in, and then doing all new laptops for teachers. So it's decided that instead of doing a rollover of like 25% of the time, it's better to do them all at one time. So it would have paid for it eventually over either 3 or 4 years, but it's more effective to get everyone on board at the same time than just piecemealing it. So where's it in here? Staff right here, 325. So that's really the big jump, adding a lab with redoing a lab with new computers, which is about 25 devices. And then of course, our staff with new laptops. So you can see the tech budget usually is around 467. It's going to go up next year to 863,500. It's an approximation, and then rebound and go back down to normal after that. So,
Okay, Dr. Musi is our treasurer. Any comments you'd like to make or add as far as the technology budget for approval?
No, we studied all of this last Monday and approved the proposal.
So your recommendation is approval for the
Correct.
treasurer? All right, thank you, sir. With that, I'll turn it over to the board for a motion that someone would like to make, either acceptance or denial of the proposed budget for technology.
I would move to accept.
Mr. Price with the motion to accept the budget for approval regarding technology. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Musi, Ms. Manigault with the second. With that, all those in favor of the FY27 technology budget as presented this evening, please signify with an aye. Aye. Those opposed with a nay. All right. Budget passes. Thanks, Mr. Thorne. Athletic pay scale and playoff bonuses for approval. Is that you, Principal Thorne, or Mr. or Coach Holland?
we'll team up on this
Okay.
one. Coach Holland and Coach Spivey went through and worked on various scenarios for increasing stipends for coaches and their methodology that came across on this one they're presenting tonight. Total, there's various tabs here. Jerry, what's the best tab to start on, the total pay? You just want to explain conceptually what's going on?
Yeah, the one that I sent you today by email. Can you go to your email?
All right. Thought I put it in. I will go to my email this is not being shared with the public, so.
And Coach Hall, I know we've spoken on topics, so just to level set with everybody for the board, what we're trying to do is catch up in a lot of ways, right? A lot of schools basically outpaced us in terms of what they were paying their coaches. So this is kind of a preventive measure to bring our current coaches up to levels commensurate with their state peers. So we don't have to worry about poaching and so forth. Is that correct?
Right. And I just shared it with you again, Mr. Thorne, it may be at the top of your. So we looked at top pay across the board of all the sports. And once we got a number of what everyone was making across the state with our coaches, we tried to look at something that in the next 5 years, we wouldn't have to make any adjustments whatsoever. And in doing that, we come up with some totals for each one of the sports. And then what we did is we took that and we tried to make it fair across the board, because we know that we do have some sports and some coaches who have excelled, and we have some coaches that haven't quite gotten to that stage yet. And so we also wanted to keep in mind that we have some that are exceeding or doing really well. So that's where we came up with a tiered level coaching pay scale. The lowest of those tiers, the person's still making more than they would make at CCSD or in this area. But the highest of that pay would be more than anyone else in the state of South Carolina in that tier level. So that's where we have a tier 1, tier 2, and a tier 3. If you go to new supplement pay, this would be everyone getting paid at the very highest tier. That's what those numbers would look like with that. So that kind of gives you the differences money-wise with that. The next tab shows you what we're currently paying, and then what, based off of these tiers, what next year would look like if we went with the tier system, and what the increase would be.
Is the increase based on achievement? Is it
Correct. Yeah, it's looking at the current coaches we have and the ones that would be coming in next year and what they would be making.
Is it tied to basically regional championships,
It is,
seasons?
yeah, making it in lower state championships on a regular basis, winning region championships on a regular basis, all those type of things. It would also give coaches something to aspire to. They would still not be making less than anyone else in the area, but it gives them something to aspire to if they want to move up.
I think it's safer to say this is more of a competitive statewide top tier coaching salary system versus what they pay locally, because I don't think,
Right.
I think this far exceeds what's being paid
Yes,
locally.
yes.
Dr. Musi is our treasurer. Any comment that you'd like to make as far as your involvement with this?
Just appreciation for the research and for putting together this proposal.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I gave you the new supplement pay, the most pay possible, because if you're looking at, if at some point we get to a point where all of our coaches, which we hope, are exceeding that, that is the absolute most pay that we would get to number wise. This is the tier system.
You're at the-
We can turn it over to the board for questions. I'm gonna kick off. I got one with a question. So what are we looking at bottom line as far as accretion of pay for next year potentially? I understand it's merit based, but do we have a swag?
Yeah, so next year, if
72.
you click the current pay compared to next year, it'll show you it looks like about 106,000 increase.
So that would be the delta for next year.
Correct.
Okay.
That'd be max for next year, correct.
Anyone have any specific questions as far as what's being proposed?
I would just like to say that I definitely appreciate the pressure coaches, the program is under from recruitment from other schools. We have a number of programs that are very good. And I appreciate the effort done to maintain some continuity in our coaching staff, as well as to tier it so that it is merit-based. So I appreciate all the effort that's gone into this. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo that, man. I think this is a lot of really good work. It's really thoughtful. And it's typically a lot easier to keep good folks than find new good folks. So I think this is probably a pretty strong, it's a pretty heavy lift. This is probably well worth the effort. Thanks for doing it so thoroughly.
Any other questions or comments?
You know, we looked at the financial report and we haven't seen the proposed for next year, but from the finance committee, do you feel like we can comfortably absorb this?
The
When
sneak
you look
peek,
at it, you'll see it
Yeah.
included in it.
the sneak peek to the very next item shows a budget surplus of $570,000 next year. That's with a lot of really cautious or worst case scenario in every category. Getting less funds for CTE students, so it's a very conservative budget. Making sure it was kind of like the worst case scenario. This is going to be the most we'll pay. We'll lose this much funding at the most. So that's the way this next budget was made because of the uncertainty of what's going into this year.
Thanks for your question. Okay. Any other questions, concerns? All right, with that, I'll look to the board for a motion for either approval of the athletic pay scale and playoff bonuses or a denial.
Move to approve.
Mr. Schumacher with the approval of the athletic pay scale and playoff bonuses. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Musi with the second. All those in favor of passing the motion on the floor regarding athletic pay scale and playoff bonuses, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed with an A. All right, motion passes. Thank you, Coach Holland.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all your work. Next item, FY '27 budget for approval. Principal Thorne.
I think Hannah's going to start off with the budget for us.
Absolutely. I'll share my screen again. You guys should be able to see the initial draft of the FY '27 budget for James Island. Everyone able to see that?
Yes.
Great. As mentioned, I did meet with Mr. Thorne and the Finance Committee a few times on this, and this has been gone through line by line, and I do feel very comfortable with this budget. Beginning in revenue, we're budgeting based off of the 135th day count for current year, so that's 1,579.87 students. One change in funding to note between current year and the upcoming year. Typically, the add-on weight for vocational students is 1.2. So you get 1.2 add-on weight per student. That is changing next year to be just a flat 1. And so what we've done is we've taken the difference. You will get those funds reallocated to you in a different way. We just don't know exactly what that's going to look like. And so what we've done to be conservative is we took what your funding would be if that weight were the 1.2, and then we took what your funding would be with the weight of 1.0. I took that difference and budgeted 80% of that. So, and the reason I did 80% is because I want to be extra conservative for you. And so that's where we're getting this $28,211,531 in state aid to classrooms. So the 3103 and the 3503, that's the normal state aid that you guys have been getting every year. And then that vocational replacement revenue, that 1.4 million, that's 80% of the total difference between what it looks like when your funding for vocational is 1.2 versus just the 1. Overall, we're budgeting $30,332,774 in revenue. And that does include
New
your
threshold. Sorry, I was making a joke. It's a new house threshold.
Oh. So we did this, that 30 million does include all of your other revenue sources. So interest on your investments, as well as pupil activities, contributions and donations, fundraising, miscellaneous local revenue. And those items have been budgeted conservatively. So it's difficult to say for sure that you're going to receive a certain dollar amount in donations or fundraising. And so we've budgeted very conservatively in those amounts, just kind of based on historical data. And then that $30 million number also includes your Title I funding, your IDEA funding, and your JROTC funding. Are there any questions on revenue?
Hannah, the jump from 28 to 30, that also includes probably the gate money from athletics?
Yes, sir. So that I believe is budgeted under other pupil income, line 1790.
I just want to point out, they do bring in revenue. You know, we're spending a lot of money in athletics.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Looking at expenses, of course, by and large, most of your expenses are going to be spent on salaries. Roughly 69 to 70% of these expenses do come from salaries. The salaries do include the $2,718 increase based on CCSD. And then I also went through and made sure that we were properly budgeting all staff health benefits. So health, retirement, dental, long-term disability, life insurance. Those are based directly on the current billing. So I wanted those to be as accurate as possible for you, because that is a large part of what you're spending on salaries, is those benefits. And I did want to mention, Mr. Thorne, I realized that we did not have dental budgeted when we met last week. So I did go in and add that in here as well, just to make sure that we're budgeting every dollar as accurately as possible.
On a side note, our revenue is less than 570 now.
So I am
540.
budgeting for this. I am budgeting for the school for next year, total net income of $540,000. And I do just want to note that this includes the $863,500 mentioned and just voted on from the tech budget, as well as several larger athletic purchases and the increase in the athletic pay that was just voted on as well. So all of that is included in expenses in this budget. And I tried to budget expenses very, very conservatively in this budget for the school. And that yielded total expenses $29 million for a bottom line of $540,673. Are there any questions or any line items in particular that I can, answer any questions on or dive a little deeper into?
Before we turn to questions, I'll turn it over to Dr. Musi as our treasurer. Sir, any comments that you would like to add?
Only that we spent an hour and a half detailing this last Monday and feel comfortable with it.
Great, thank you. With that, from the board, any questions for Dr. Musi or Ms. Crowder regarding the proposed FY27 budget? No questions. With that, would the board like to propose a motion for either acceptance or denial of the FY27 budget as presented?
Move to accept.
Mr. Price with the motion to accept. Do I have a second? Ms. Myers with the second. All those in favor of approval of the FY27 budget as presented, please signify with an aye. Aye. Those opposed with a nay. All right, you guys have it. The budget passes. Thank you, Ms. Crowder.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you so much. I'll drop a copy of the PDF version of this budget in the finance folder, so you guys have it handy. And if you think of any more questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. And special thank you to Dr. Musi. This is my second tour on the board with him, and both previous times he served as our treasurer. That's a lot of responsibility. It's an extra meeting a month. So thank you very much, sir, for all that you have done and continue to do in support of our school's finances.
Thank
you. All right, Coach Holland, back over to you, sir, as the athletic report.
Most of the teams, I think, went on and updated their reports. If you, with anything as far as that's concerned, if you have questions, you can ask. We did obviously hire a volleyball coach. She's from Mississippi. She last year competed in the state championship for the first time in that school's since 2008. So we're really excited to have her on board and get her here in Charleston. She'll be able to start towards the end of May, so we're still working out all the things about, because May is an open season, so we're just trying to work out all of the logistics with that while she's got to fulfill her job requirements where she's at. So, but that was a big weight off getting that done. All of our spring sports are ending up. We've been pretty successful so far. I know baseball, if you read there, they're ranked 31st and 31st in the nation right now, which is extremely impressive. Winning region, girls soccer is performing very well. I know lacrosse season is coming to an end in the next few weeks. They'll start their playoffs. So everybody's kind of rocking and rolling. We got all of the, we finally got discus moved. So now soccer, that opens up some more field. One of the things you'll see, and then when we start talking about budget wise, is now getting rid of some of that out there and replanting grass to make that entire area accessible. So yeah, I think that comes up a lot of
Great.
things right now.
Congratulations on the volleyball coach. I know we all basically received, probably informally or formally, feedback from parents in the community regarding the volleyball coach. And I can say personally, I don't know others basically, but once the new coach was hired and it was posted and her qualifications were out there, I've not had one negative response back to me regarding that. So I don't know how any response you all feel, but I think we gave parents the opportunity to voice their opinion, to be heard. I will say, as far as another topic with parents was, we did receive an inquiry about soccer fields, and they were talking about new locker rooms. And Coach Holland pointed out that's part of the new build. So I always want to basically answer parent concerns or give them the voice to express their acceptance or displeasure with what's going on, but at least basically be heard and always basically respond to them in a professional way so that they know that we are listening. So anything that anyone would like to add is from a board perspective or have questions for Coach Holland regarding the athletic report? Nothing heard. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, board subcommittee reports. We'll start with finance. Dr. Music.
Not getting into the editorials recently about charter schools. We just passed a budget that shows an overage of $540,000. In our personal lives, that might be a lot. In the school, it's 7.5 days
Yeah, it's very small.
at our spending rate.
Even based on Prentice's own comments, he would suggest it should be 7% of our budget, our surplus. And that's not 7%, as you just pointed out.
Yeah, exactly. So kudos to all those who worked on this budget, putting in a lot of hard work to make it realistic, but also putting in some things that may have been deferred. The other part of the comment is with $540,000, there's not a lot of, let's see if we can pay for this or this or this, as we sometimes do.
Well, and to your point, you really did a good job. You've always done a great job, but really because of what's going on, pushing Coach Holland and others to let's be forecasting this year, next year, and knowing the stadium is this huge thing out there just waiting to drop. So we've got almost all the things we can foresee kind of put in this budget.
Thank you. That's it.
All right, thank you, Dr. Music. Capital projects, Mr. Schumacher.
Not much in the way of an update this time. I had a line on a guy who I thought was going to be an easy solution for kind of the campus master plan effort. So I'm talking to a couple others. He had a personal thing come up and is relocating his practice. So going to talk to a couple other ones this week. I got some time on my calendar to try to get that moving to get a proposal to this board worth discussing. Hopefully we'll have that by the next meeting with no issue. And then there's an architect's been selected for the stadium that was done through CCSD. Clancy Wells, who has been on campus, they did the science classrooms, they've done a bunch of stuff around here, have some cool ideas. There is a design kickoff meeting for that next week on the 27th.
We just got the time today. I put the invite for you guys at 1 o'clock.
And you're able to plug into that.
It says 10 on your report. Is it 10? Or in the agenda, it says 10.
Oh, I think I made a typo.
That's fine. Planning on attending. and hearing how it goes and making sure we've got a good voice comparable with our big contribution.
Great.
I'm sorry about that, Nick. I don't know where I got that pen from,
That's okay.
because it was always up in the air. I have another 10 o'clock appointment. It's a running appointment. I probably just confused it with that.
It's at 1 for sure.
Yeah, the official invite came out today.
How was that meeting? Is it a Teams sort of thing or in person? Would you mind just forwarding a?
So it's team, yeah, I just invited you as you were speaking.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Here's to be a team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Principal evaluation support, no report there. Community engagement, Ms. Myers, Ms. Manigault.
No, I think our meeting for the golf Memorial Golf Tournaments this Thursday, right, at 4:30.
Yeah, so this would be I think I mentioned that last meeting, Coach Gist, when he passed, his family set up a memorial scholarship fund here at the high school. So what we've done is basically, like I said, Coach Holland and I have been talking about a golf scramble for years, trying to take it with Trojan Club, and it didn't quite work out. Mr. Schumacher was a big help there. And so now we're trying to revive it. And so far, the interest has been phenomenal. Coach Holland solidified a date. We're looking at late August. We've got a price point. We've got sponsors lined up. We've got all kind of goodness happen. So we're going to meet Thursday at 4:30 in Coach Holland's office and basically solidify the way forward. But look for that event in August. And 100% of the proceeds will basically go directly into the scholarship fund, and Coach gets his name.
Just to finish off on Nick's part, this is the rendering from Clancy Wells that won the bid. I'm only showing this one here because it shows the grandstands that they have to be replaced, how they would do brick masonry around it so that it looks much more prestigious or nicer than just plain stands. We can't really do this anymore because Coach Holland built discus out there. So then it would be, look at the option 2. This is just a rendering. You can tell it looks expensive. We would probably really extend the top to the majority of the top. So there'd be enough room for an 8,000 square foot wrestling. Weight room part. Weight room. Yeah. We would move wrestling into the current field house and maybe knock down the hallway there and then just extend the top here. Leave space, open space for patrons or dignitaries up there still, but that's the basic gist though. It's pretty awesome.
That's really not that expensive of a structure, believe it or not, compared to how it could be done.
You can see there's actually a little bit more space here too for the patrons to get tickets and stuff as they're coming in there now.
It's a much better deal. Welcome that.
Yeah.
To the school. Yeah.
I think it's a grouping piece.
100%. Yeah. There's all kinds of, and
That'd be a
you
problem.
know, this is a conceptual design. There's 300 variables between here and final design, but we'll see how it shakes out.
Nice.
Students won't sit there during halftime meeting.
Yes. Wow.
All right, thank you, everyone. Moving on, maintenance report, Principal Thorne.
No more than 30 minutes.
I've got perfect.
So the annual fire protection system was inspected campus wide over spring break. The old gym, main gym floors were refinished over spring break. New church head emblem was painted on the center of the main gym of the old gym, used for PE. All HVAC filters were changed campus wide over the break, as well as the PAC cooling tower receiving new circulation pumps. CCSDS started cleaning the storm drain retention ponds and vegetation debris areas. They returned back on the 25th of April to complete that. They've done 57 work orders since last month, which is got a week of spring break mixed in with it. So there you have it.
Great. Any questions for Principal Thorne regarding maintenance report? Nothing heard. And last item on the agenda tonight, the school leader report. Back to you, Principal Thorne.
And bigger. Well, some of these you already heard about Special Olympics. Obviously, an awesome event at Wando High School. Proms this past Saturday. It was a great job. Miss Langston and Miss Bowen and the prom board did all that work. Over 500 guests attended. Bridge building and CTE. These girls designed a really awesome bridge here. Got first place. Legislative update. This is kind of a big one. We've been talking since last month. This kind of shows the major areas of concern. So the amendments that were most of the amendments were drafted by CCSD Prentice, CFO, CCSD, that, and all the ones he drafted would affect locally sponsored charter schools. Budget authority is a major concern. Borrowing restrictions, funding formula would change. It would basically take out charter schools and their students and redo the math, and that's never been workshopped, never been discussed with us, which is unusual, to say the least. Increased reporting requirements, almost like an ongoing audit, it would appear. And then asset reversion, so definitely a concern there. Just found out today that the House Committee of Education is meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock, so I'll be going back to Columbia tomorrow, just in case they want to get my input. I can't make a public comment, but I can be interviewed as a person who's involved with charter schools. So I've also kept you guys up to date with some emails that have gone out.
I appreciate the articles, and yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for making the trip up there to advocate.
Yeah, we had a really, really good trip. We were able to make contact with 7 of the 18 committee members on that education committee, and we're all very supportive. In contact with most of the local legislators here in the Charleston area, and some definitely got back to me, been supportive. It's definitely going to be a long fight. We'll just see how tomorrow plays out and beyond. But as it stands, there's a subcommittee. Typically, you would go through amendments in a subcommittee and try to do the heavy lifting. That didn't happen. All they did was go through the bill as presented by the Senate, which was a bill that we're actually in favor of. So then we saw the bill itself's 22 pages that came from the Senate, with the amendments that came from CCSD and then the statewide district and some legislators. It grew by 14 pages. So that's about a third larger now. Those were loosely referenced during the discussion, but you would have thought they would have done the heavy lifting and talked through some of those things. They did not do that. We could have made comments at that time. They did not allow comments that day. Then they later voted on that night to pass the bill along, which was the Senate version of the bill. Tomorrow they're going to discuss the amendments, and we'll see how that is. I think the probable nature of it being passed on is based on the Senate version, not the amendments, which change a great deal of things. And then, of course, even one word is changed, I'm sure change is done at the House level, goes back to the Senate, approved, and then that's to the governor. So that's how that will play out.
Okay, great. Any questions for Principal Thornton regarding the school leader report?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry, you have more? Oh, sorry.
Enrollment's good, 1554. School choice is actively going on right now. So they're going through and they get like 4 days to accept, or maybe it's 3 days. We had around 300 applicants for 140 spots for the freshman class and 20 to 30 for the other grade levels. There's your applicants right there. Our school safety, we had 42 yonder searches, 4 classroom searches, 8 student searches, 130 cameras now being monitored through our camera system that you guys all approved. With 60 to 70 to be platformed in the next week or so. So we'll be up to 200 really shortly, which is awesome. Technology
Does
lab.
that sort of complete that implementation?
It completes what the contracts for this year. In the future, we hopefully keep going until we get nearly 100% across the entire campus. Tech, it's about laptops for next year, screencasting, which is what this is, one-to-one orders for next year. In Chromebook submissions, and help desk estimates are right there. And as far as the science edition, all stuff's right there. It's mostly legal, mostly construction talk, but it's basically on pace to be done by the end of May. Hopefully the teachers can move in before they leave. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you, sir. With that, any questions for Principal Thorne regarding the school leader report?
Randomly, where are we right now with students outside of zoning wanting to come in? I guess wait list. Do we have a current wait list?
Mhm.
What's that look like? Just curious how many. I've been getting asked about it. for some reason.
Oops. Sorry.
I'll slow down right here.
Yeah.
So down here shows the applicants. Oh, this is per year. Find them off the top of my head. We allocated
That's
140 seats for the freshman class. We have 418 current freshmen, 409 sophomores, 373 juniors. Which is in the table.
Yeah.
Right here, yeah. So those are the numbers right there. So all those move up 1 year, right? So there's about 130 or so on the wait list for the freshman class. And 140 seats have been offered, about 35 have been accepted right now. They have, I think, 3 days to accept or they get declined. Yeah. There's 27 in the junior class. We have 0 seats offered for them because we have 418 sophomores for next year. So our goal is to have around 400 per grade. We do lose kids because they move away, they graduate early, that kind of stuff. So we try and keep a consistent grade level. We actually had over 400 seniors last year, 406. So sophomores be tough to get in. Juniors, there's a little bit of space if we wanted to because we'll be, well, actually 409. There'll be room. There's only 7 seniors that apply. We don't do using many seniors at all. So the numbers are basically 130 to wait list, 27 juniors around 20, seniors are 7.
Okay, thank
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Ms. Van Gogh.
And last week, the juniors did some kind of testing, do you know?
For the wind test,
Yes.
we don't have the results yet, although they come in quickly.
You should.
Okay. We'll have them for you next month for sure. We're definitely talking about some other privileges. It's already linked now as a senior. The junior, if you don't sit for the wind test, you lose all your privileges. Is it all or just the student lunch? Because when we do a school-wide testing day, some kids will just not come to school and not take the test. It's a state mandated test. It's one thing to like choose not to do the ACT or the SAT, which it is good for the schools that do take those tests. But if you're gonna skip out on a mandated test, it goes on a report card, then we're gonna take some things away from you because it's not right. So that's something that we do battle. But also that's the one that our kids by far do the best on in terms of earning college and career readiness. I'd say 80% plus of them earn silver and above, right? Silver and above. I know our CCR rate is already in 87, 88 range, which is our goal. And there's still kids taking dual enrollment, and there's AP classes being taken, IB classes. So we could be eclipsing 90% for that, which would be a 6% increase past year.
Is there a way those results can be sent out just via email instead of waiting till next month?
You mean the winning results?
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay. That's satisfactory? Okay. Good. Any other questions from anyone? All right, nothing heard. So with that concludes the public portion of our meeting tonight. As far as next steps, we have an executive session on personnel matter that we'll work through an employee appeal. We will vote to go into executive session. Once we do, I ask the board to take about a 5-minute bio break, and we will meet in the conference room in the back that's dark back there, and we'll meet with Ms. Delonte, who is basically our board attorney, so she'll be working on our behalf, where she'll basically explain the process to us. We'll come out of the executive session, we'll populate with the school administration that has their attorney, as well as the employee will have their attorney handy as well. So with that, I'll adjourn the public session and I'll ask basically for a motion to move into executive session. Mr. Price with the motion for executive session. Do I have a second? Dr. Buzzi with a second. All those in favor of moving to executive session to deal with the personnel matter with employee appeal, please signify with a yay. Yay. Those opposed with a nay. All right, we are now in executive session. Aye. Those opposed with an A. All right, we are out of an executive session. Is there a motion from the board regarding the personnel matter employee appeal?
Yes, I would
Mr.
move,
Price?
I would move to affirm the administrative decision regarding employee 8.
Okay, the motion on the floor is to affirm. Does anyone have a second to that motion? Mr. Schumacher with the second. We'll go by board member vote. Ms. Myers, how do you vote regarding the motion on the floor?
I vote yes.
Okay, Ms. Manigault? Mr. Price?
Affirm.
Dr. Musi?
Yes.
Mr. Schumacher?
Yes.
And myself, Mr. Hayes, yes. With that, any other questions, concerns from anyone? Comments?